Hello friends and followers, and thank you for joining me today. This is Jenn Espinosa-Goswami over at Be Weightless, and I want to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. Whether you're single or coupled or what have you, I don't care what your situation is. Know that as a member of my community, you are loved, and I am thankful for that you are here today. So even if you're watching the replay, please let me know if you're joining me, either live or on the replay. I'd love to say hi and make sure I know who's joining. But I did want to pop in really quick because I had a phone call with my coach this morning, and she said, okay, well, in a nutshell, what is it you do for people? And I said, well, I help women feel amazing and sexy and like they can connect with their husbands and partners and just be confident in their own skin. And so she challenged me to talk about something which I'm a little uncomfortable sharing, but something that's at the core of the work that I do. So I'd love to pop in and talk a little bit about what we do as women when the lights go out. You remember that song from like the 90s or something? I think the group's name was Five, and they said, baby, when the lights go out, tell me everything. Anyway, it was a really cool song. It was kind of hip for me and my friends at the time, and I just keep thinking of that song in the back of my head. So if I break into song, you know why I'm going that way. But this is a really important topic, and one that we as women especially don't talk about because it's uncomfortable, right? It's a little uncomfortable for me, so it's probably a little uncomfortable for you. But in a nutshell, a lot of the women that I work with as a health coach, they tell me that they don't love themselves, for one, but they feel uncomfortable in their own skin. And this shows up in a lot of ways, but one of the ways, which is really pertinent today, because we're talking about, the day of romance and hearts and chocolates and intimacy and romance and partnership and all that sort of thing. What we, what's implied beneath all of that romance and wooing and all that stuff is that there's intimacy and there's a connection with someone who you love. And what I found for myself personally was my connection with my partner, my husband, was very low and unsatisfying when I didn't feel good about my body. Now I want to take a moment and ask you on this video today, how do you feel when the lights go out? Whether it's at night, whether it's waking up in the morning. Are you happy that you're in the dark? Are you happy that your partner is not seeing these flaws that you see in yourself? Is that the only way that you feel you can hide your flaws in yourself? And as you hide your physical flaws, where are you in your head? Like, how do you feel in your head about yourself? Does the negative self-talk start happening when the lights go out? And believe me, I'm a very positive person and I love myself for who I am, but I also have days when I don't feel terribly sexy, right? just laying it out there. I have days when I don't feel sexy either. Today, not so much because I have my red lipstick on. But, there are days when we're not going to feel as sexy. We're not going to feel as confident. We're not going to feel as we can be. One thing I will share with you, though, thank you for joining us live. Hi, say hi in the comments. One thing that I will share about myself is confidence is something that I have always had, but it's something that can be learned. And I help folks learn confidence, especially with their own body. Now, I wanted to share a quick story with you because we are talking about romance and relationships and those sorts of things. But when I was in 9th grade, I had my first formal dance. And, first formal dance, I was dressed to the nines. My friends and I went together to the dance. And the girls were on one side of the room and the boys were on the other side of the room, right? Because never the twain shall meet when you're in 9th grade. You're teenagers. It's very uncomfortable. I didn't like that. Now, mind you, I was not dating anyone. It wasn't even a whisper of a dream or a twinkle in my eye at that time. I was just having a good night with my friends, right? But I saw that the girls were on one side and the boys were on the other side, and that was not going to go for me. And I said, you know what? This is a dance. I'm dressed up. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling pretty. You know, I put on makeup. I didn't wear makeup a lot then. And I did my hair, and I'm here with my friends, and let's jam. You know, let's have fun. We're at a dance. And I knew that those boys on the other side of the room were just as uncomfortable as the girls, right? I mean, give guys out there a bone, you know, like they're trying hard and they feel uncomfortable too. It's not easy to be shot down all the time. So I took charge as the confident young lady I was. So I walked across the room and I asked one of the guys to dance. As a 15-year-old girl who had never been on a date, never been kissed by anyone aside from male cousins, who do not count, by the way. You know, I was overweight significantly, probably about 50 pounds. I was the biggest girl in my school probably at that time. And I was determined to have a good time at this dance. So, you know, I may have started off having a good time and being a confident person. And that's what that's what I enjoy sharing with my clients. Like, I'm confident. Even at my heaviest weight in my relationship with my partner, I still walk around naked out of the shower. I mean, I'm feeling a little weird admitting this, but it's still true because there's no shame in my game, right? None at all. I am who I am. I have 2 beautiful children. My husband loves me and I love him, and we're together for a reason. And yes, he has seen me at my lowest weight and he has seen me at my highest weight. And none of that has ever mattered because I love who I am, right? And I can stand up and be who I am regardless of what the scale is reflecting as my weight. I feel sexy in a size 22. I feel sexy in a size 16. But here's an interesting point to bring out. I don't feel like I need to turn out the light in order to be who I am. I'm going to repeat that because that's a really important point. I don't need to turn off the light in order to be and act upon who I am. And if you're someone who's at that point in your life where you feel so uncomfortable or so embarrassed, if you will, that you cannot do what you really want to do until the lights go out, there may be something that you would like to address. It may be time to bring things out into the light, right? Those things, and when I say things, I'm not necessarily talking about physical things. I'm talking about how you feel, right? You know, how do you feel about yourself? Are you happy with yourself? And again, I'm not saying that anyone here is perfect. I'm certainly not perfect, but in an average week, I would say 6 out of 7 days, I feel pretty darn amazing. And if you're on the spectrum where you're like 6 out of 7 days, you feel pretty miserable, then maybe something needs to change. Maybe it's time to turn the light back on and start showing up as the kind of person that you really want to be and who you know you are inside, right? Because I know I work with people all the time who are in a place where they're like, I can look in the mirror and I'm not quite sure who's looking back at me. And that's a tough situation to be in, right? Especially on a day when there's a lot of focus on romance and sexiness and intimacy and 50 Shades Darker and all that crap, you know? I'm not working with people who want to like jump up on a pole and do some crazy bondage stuff with their partners. I'm working with women who, are afraid to show up with who they are. The beautiful women that their partners married. Our partners married us for a reason. And, you know, it kind of goes back to one of those things where, like, a lot of women who, hi, thanks for joining us. A lot of women who, right after they have a baby, and I know how this feels because I've been there, but right after they have a baby, you know, your body doesn't bounce back right away. It's not supposed to. It took you 9 months to get pregnant, you know, to develop your baby and grow your baby. It's going to take you a while to get back to your pre-baby body. But there's a lot of pressure there, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even recognize myself. My body is doing things it never used to do. I don't know how to feel about this situation. And change is difficult. I understand. I've gone through a lot of changes in my life. But there are times in my own personal life after I've had my children, and I have 2 girls, but maybe I was, I hadn't showered all day. I was wearing my nursing top. I felt crappy. I was tired like a zombie. And I was, snuggling my baby. And my husband would look at me and he'd say, you're really beautiful. And that was the absolute last moment in my life that I was feeling beautiful. But if you are with a man or a woman who does not necessarily throw away compliments as easily or as frequently as my wonderful husband does, then perhaps you have a hard time believing that you are a sexy and beautiful person. And that's why I wanted to bring up this video really quick today, because again, you don't have to be jumping up on a pole and dancing and wearing lingerie and being on a magazine to feel sexy. But it's important for you to connect with who you are as a person. And if that person is a sexy beast, I want you to feel like you have full rights and permission and confidence to show up as the sexy beast that you are. I'm a Scorpio, so sex appeal and factor is a big part of who I am. So if I know that I'm in a place where I don't want to strut my sexy stuff, then I know I'm having a hard time mentally. I know that something needs to shift right here. And if that's a result of me not feeling like I can walk around naked or like I can be my sexy self, then I know something needs to change, right? If I'm not feeling strong, if I'm not feeling confident, if I'm not exercising as frequently as I need to relieve my stress and feel relaxed, because we know that women need to feel relaxed before they can really experience pleasure. And yes, I am talking about that, but not really. You need to feel relaxed in order to feel comfortable and confident. And one thing that does not make anyone I know feel relaxed is, I gotta exercise, I gotta eat right, I gotta do this, I gotta feed the kids, I gotta take care of my husband, I gotta clean my house. That is not relaxing, which is why I'm here. As a health coach, I'm here to make the process of feeling confident and sexy in your skin, because it's the only body you have, to make that feel easy and relaxed and fun. It can be fun, right? Find the fun factor in your life so that you can get out of your own way and show up as the amazing and beautiful person that you know yourself to be. So here's, this is a long way to get to this short message today, but we're in, the heart. We're in the day of love, and whether you are single or not, how you show up in the world has an impact on everything you do in life. And I'm not saying you have to wear stilettos and walk down the street shaking your hips to feel like you're a sexy person. You don't. You absolutely don't. We all express our individuality and our creativity in different ways. But if you pull your sweater a little closer around your body because you're afraid that some lump is going to show, or if you, wear slippers all day because you're at home and you're like, hey, nobody sees me, who cares? Then you may not be feeling like your best self. I want to talk to you. I want to explore with you what it looks like to show up as your sexy self. I want to help you believe and achieve your best version of beauty. No matter what that is, I'm here to support you to get there. And that's my best work that I do with my clients. Yes, it's great when my clients are able to lose, 10, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. Even better is when they're maintaining that 1 to 2 years after they've worked with me. But at the core of it, they feel relaxed. They feel comfortable. They feel sexy. They feel like they know what their next steps are. And that's what I'd like to show and provide to you. So if you're watching this video, thank you for joining me. Thank you for celebrating Heart Day with me. I love you and appreciate you for who you are. And if you feel like you cannot show up in life, or that you cannot act upon the things that you want to do and wish you could do more of, then I want to have a really open conversation with you. This may be uncomfortable for you. Connect with me. You can send me a message. I'll pop my email in there in case you want to send me an email and just say, hey, how do we do this conversation? I'm happy to do that because I know it can be uncomfortable to share that you don't feel happy. You know, it's an uncomfortable thing to admit to. And I give you props if you're willing to do that in a public way. But what I'm trying to say to you is that sexiness and confidence can be cultivated. And that's my gift to you on Valentine's Day, is to help you cultivate that. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful, loving day, whether you're celebrating with others or celebrating yourself. There is plenty of love to be had in this world, and I want you to feel amazing at who you are, whether the lights are on or off. Thank you for joining us, Joy. I actually am just stopping this video now, but I encourage you to watch the replay. We were just talking about how you show up in life and whether that's really who you are. And if you want some assistance to get to where you are, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So thank you, Joy, for joining us. And I'd love to connect with any of you who are watching the replay in this video. So again, I will pop my email address in the link there. If you want to take me up on my conversation call, let's talk. Let's talk about how to get that sexy beast mode going on there, because I have my flaws. I'm not perfect, but I can certainly strut my sexy self when I feel the mood, and I usually feel that mood most of the time. So I want to share that. I want to pay that forward for you who are joining me here today, and those of you who are my community. So I thank you. I appreciate you, and have a wonderful Valentine's Day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.